Hello and welcome to the online Stowe Tango Music Festival. And we are here this year. The Stowe Tango Music Festival is not happening in Stowe, but it's happening online. So we are going to have workshops, master classes, and concerts. And today we have a special guest that we are going to be introducing for a workshop that is happening on Saturday at 2 p.m. Eastern Time. And so he is a classically trained pianist. He did some experience in jazz, but very quickly he moved to the big tango scene. And in 2015, he actually won one of the most prestigious awards in Argentina, which is the Premios Carlos Gardel for his solo piano. And the name of the CD was Tangos para Piano. So I would like to welcome he was also the guest artist of Stowe Tango Music Festival in 2015 and 2016. So welcome to Pablo Estigarribia. Good
Hey,
morning,
how you
Pablo.
doing?
How are you?
Doing fine. Having
Great.
some mate.
Good. I forgot my mate. So we are going to be talking about the workshop that you're going to do on Saturday at 2 p.m. But before we talk about that, I would like to talk about your how did you get into tango? I know that you were part of the Orquesta Tango Escuela Emilio Valcarce. What year was that?
That was 2006.
2006. So you start with the Orquesta Escuela and you did the program that was 2 years.
Yes, actually, we finished in 2006 and started on 2005. Back then, it was 2 years program. Yeah.
So, and there you not only met Emilio Valcarce himself, who was one, for those who don't know who Emilio Valcarce was, he was one of the greatest violin players and arrangers for tango. And he was very well known for arranging the Astor Piazzolla's pieces into tango for the orchestra of Osvaldo Pugliese. That's only one of the many things that he did. But also, you met somebody else at the Orquesta Tango Escuela, and that was somebody that you still work with and you're friends with, and it was Victor Lavallén, who was also one of the teachers at the Stowe Tango Music Festival. So, tell us a little bit about how did you meet him?
Well, I was very lucky. I always enjoyed working with the old school masters of tango. So when I got into Orquesta Escuela, I was of course very excited about working with Emilio. I couldn't believe I was actually playing for the guy that wrote La Bordona and stuff, you know.
Mm-hmm.
So and on the second year, we had a lot of guest artists that played with the orchestra, and we got to play with Nestor Marconi, Raúl Garelo, Celso Amato, Ernesto Franco, a lot of the guys that used to play with the big orchestras back in the 50s.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember the last one of the program was Victor Lavallén that came to represent Osvaldo Pugliese style. And they gave us his record. I got to hear it and said, I want to play with this guy. I mean, for real. He had this harmonic view. It was so modern. I really wanted to be part of that, and we met, and he enjoyed my playing. So he asked me for my phone number, and about 6 months later, I was playing with him. And I don't know, it's been like 13, 14 years, and we still play together.
That's great. So I think Orquesta Tango Escuela gave the opportunity to many people to get in touch with the maestros of Argentina. And last Friday we had Ignacio Barchowski, that he was one of the founders of the Orquesta Tango Escuela. And also the Stowe Tango Music Festival is inspired a little bit on the Orquesta Tango Escuela, but also because people like me that are a little bit older had the opportunity to play with the maestros in those times, not in those times, but so having the experience to play with the maestros is one of the most important things that we can do to be able to get everything, all the language, all the elements of what tango is, the essence of tango. So playing with Victor Lavagen for how many years did you say now?
About 14.
14 years. So you got the Premio Carlos Gardel for your solo piano, but
I did.
this year you are nominated with the trio with Lavagen, Estigarribia, Cabarcos for the Carlos Gardel Award again. For
Yeah,
what
we're very excited.
for what
Um,
category
it's,
are you?
it's the first time we are nominated with the trio, so it's very exciting. And we got the nomination for Best Tango Group.
So I think not only you deserve the Carlos Gardel in 2015 for your piano, but I think Victor Lavagen, one of the great masters of tango of all times, he was also an arranger for Osvaldo Pugliese and Sexteto Tango, Color Tango at the beginning. So I think he very well deserves the prize and the award. And so I hope this year you will get it. So
Fingers crossed.
so I would like to play a little bit of the trio, and so people can enjoy the music and see what tango is about.
El tango es un secreto que se inventó a lo largo del siglo XX y culminó con los grandes como Osvaldo Pugliese, Miguel Caló, Horacio Salgán y Astor Piazzolla. Hoy, ya en el siglo XXI, quedan algunos embajadores de esa época de oro. En este grupo hay dos, y estamos listos para compartir su magia con el mundo.
That, ladies and gentlemen, cannot get more tango than this. So this was trio Lavagene, Estigarribia, Cabarcos, and Comme il faut. And so I really appreciate many things in tango because this is what I do, what I did all my life. So the sound, the harmony, besides the super interesting and modern harmonies, is how much the essence of tango is in this music. The body of the sound, and you with the piano, Victor with the bandoneon, and Cabarcos with the double bass, create this huge sound only with three instruments that you have the old orchestras with 13 or 14 musicians, but this sounds amazing. So I would like to talk a little bit about your experience. You said before that you played with many people. One of them was Leopoldo Federico, the other one Nestor Marconi, and also Maria Grania. Are my idols. So these are the people that I look after, including Maria Grania. I think is one of the greatest singers of all times. And but I want to know who are your idols?
Well, I think the guy that's responsible for me dedicating my life to tango, it's Horacio Salgan. He was an inspiration for me, and he still is. Well, that's a guy that I would have loved to at least hear playing live. I never heard him playing live.
Mm-hmm.
And also, I really love Carlos Garcia and Osvaldo Tarantino. I would have loved to hear that guy and get to meet him. Also, Rubén Juárez. There's so many talents in tango. It's amazing.
Yes, there were amazing people, and the people that you named were very special because they were not only great tango players, composers, but they were unique. They have a unique personality, very different from each other. And I think when you're playing with Victor Lavagene, you bring Horacio Salgan. Actually, Comme il faut is a piece that Horacio Salgan recorded, and I can hear a little bit of Horacio Salgan in there, but with all the body of the sound that Victor Lavagene also probably have brought into you a little bit.
Well, I did learn a lot from those guys. To me, they're like iconic players, like from Victor with the bandoneon and Horacio with the bass. I think every tango player from today will tell you that they're actually iconic, that they're like.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think we're going to have a lot of time to talk on Saturday and to look into these different elements of tango. But I wanted to talk a little bit about you wrote 2 books.
Yeah.
And those are solo piano. So what are the names of the books?
I did. The first one is called Tangos de Concierto, and the idea was to write some arrangements that will be available for classical pianists that wanted to approach the genre. So I went through the work of trying to make specific notation and try to write everything or whatever I could from the style of tango, so they just play what's written down and get a tango sound out of it. And then I started teaching a lot, and I came across a problem that there was not a lot of educational material for the students. So I wrote a second book that was called Tango for Intermediates.
Yeah, so I have seen the book for the first one that you wrote. I haven't seen the second one, but when I saw the first one, I see that everything is in there. You know, you brought every single note that is in the solo, the dynamics, and every single detail is in the book. So I thought that your job was done. But apparently not, because you're going to do this workshop to talk about what?
Well, tango, of course, is a popular genre, right? So it has a lot of phrasings and shades, it's like music slang that we have that is not possible to write down exactly. Most of them come from the orchestral language of the piano. Some of the things are actually things that the pianist needed to carry on the orchestra, to lead the orchestra. Like, for instance, there is a thing that we call arrastre that everyone knows. It's like bum ba da ba da dum, and started being just a tool to just show the downbeat to everyone in the orchestra, so everyone will play together, and then ended up being part of the vocabulary of the pianist. Even when you play solo, you do this because it's part of the tango language, right? So there's a lot of these things that you can't really make specific on the score, because it will be like 300 pages. So it's really easier to understand where these things come from. For instance, this pamparabaran that I was just talking about. The goal of that is to show the downbeat to everyone and everyone play together on the downbeat. So under no point of view you can play that legato or use pedal, because you're gonna blur the rhythm and you need to be super accurate. And I can't write that every time that appears. I mean, you have to know this and know better than play with pedal,
Yeah, but also you mentioned that you, with the piano solo, you kind of have to bring the elements that other instruments will bring into the orchestra. So, for example, if the bandoneon plays the melody, you had to somehow do the role of the bandoneon with the piano.
Well, the thing is that piano solo in tango is kind of different from other genres, because it's actually an orchestral reduction. It sounds like when you have you can actually hear the bandoneon solo at times, and you still have to carry on the rhythmic patterns on the left hand, and then you have this very sharp articulations that you have to imitate from bandoneon, and then the long lines from the violins. And if you want to sound tanguero, it should sound like an orchestra.
Mm-hmm. So we are going to talk about all of this on Saturday then. And I think it's going to be a very interesting workshop, for not only for pianists, for people to understand the roles of the instruments. We talked about a little bit with Ignacio Bartowski the other day, but this is going to be more hands-on. And I believe at the end we are going to give the participants a solo to work on. Which one will be that solo?
We're going to work on El Amanecer. Mm-hmm. I thought it was good because it's very clear, and it has even the orchestral arrangements use the same structure. Mm-hmm. So it's going to be easy to import some of the orchestral language into the solo.
Well, that's great. So we are going to send this score to whoever registers for the workshop that is going to happen on Saturday at 2 p.m. Eastern Time. And here it's the information. And after that, we will talk a little bit more. So this is the piano as a solo instrument in tango. And well, I think I would like to thank you, Pablo, for being here today, for doing this preview. And I hope everybody will be there on Saturday, 2 p.m. Don't forget, register at online.stowetango.org. And just as the last thing that we are going to do, I want you to enjoy the solo that Pablo was playing at the beginning. What's the name of that solo that you were playing?
187th Street.
187th Street, and I believe, did you live in 187th Street?
Yeah.
So it's your composition.
Yes, it's mine.
So 187th Street by Pablo Estigarribia, arranged by Pablo Estigarribia, and performed by Pablo Estigarribia. So see you all on Saturday at 2 p.m. check out at online that stowetango.org. Thank you very much, Pablo. See you on Saturday.
Thank you, Hector.
Bye-bye.
See you Saturday. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.